John chapter 11 tells the story of the death and resurrection, not of Jesus, but of Lazarus. Jesus had these friends, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Toward the end of his ministry, Jesus gets a letter from the sisters saying that their brother Lazarus is sick and dying. They plead for Jesus to come quickly because they know who he is and they fully believe that Jesus can heal Lazarus. Now, this next part of the story is my absolute favorite. Verses 5 and 6 say, "Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So, when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. He loved them, so he stayed where he was." Please understand, Jesus loved this family. The Bible records Jesus meeting with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus more than once. He had built a relationship with them. They were his friends. This verse says that it was because he loved Lazarus that he decided to wait. He knew what he was going to do. He knew the whole story. He knew God's plan for this family. He knew how God was going to use what he was going to do for God's glory for the rest of human existence. We are still talking about it today. But the sisters didn't know that. They didn't see the plan or the purpose for their suffering. God didn't cause their suffering, but he allowed it to happen because he saw the whole picture and he knew the impact that their testimony would have on the world. So often in our lives, we have to walk through some really hard moments. We endure great suffering. God doesn't necessarily make those happen, but I fully trust that he has a plan for how to work that situation for our good and his glory. In our story, Jesus shows up after the people think it's too late. It was the Jewish belief that it took 3 days for your spirit to leave your body and your body to start to decay. So when Jesus finally gets there on day 4, Lazarus isn't just dead, he is dead, and there is no hope. But God is our hope when there is no hope, and he is able to do far more than we can think or believe. And let me tell you, when Jesus yelled into that tomb for Lazarus to come out, that dead man sat up, walked out of that tomb with his grave wrappings still on. This is not only a powerful testimony to God's goodness and his timing and his provision and his love for us, but it was also a beautiful foreshadowing of what Jesus would endure for us just a week after he performed his miracle. Jesus allowed the people that he loved to suffer because he could see the big picture and knew what would be accomplished because of it. When you're living through a season of suffering, remember that we serve a big God who loves you and who is working all things for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose.